Today, you will learn how emotional abuse trains you to doubt yourself and keeps you in the narcissistic cycle. Welcome to Heartbreak to Wholeness, the podcast helping you heal from the mindfuck of narcissistic relationships and move towards the secure, peaceful woman you want to become. I am your host, Brie Walta, relationship clarity coach and EFT certified practitioner. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. I know what you are thinking as a woman who runs the shit out of your life. You are thinking, I can run a business. I can manage my time and my life so well that I can work out, make the kids' lunches, clean the kitchen, get them to school, get myself to work, and close a business deal, let's say, by 10 a.m. You make hard decisions all day. People look up to you. They look to you for the answer. But when it comes to love, you crumble. When it comes to your relationship, it feels like you lose your backbone. It feels like you are always second-guessing yourself and can't find that confident center that you have in your business or in your life. And this especially comes out when you start to think about leaving your partner, because part of you knows that you shouldn't keep going back or that it's time to go. But when it comes to trusting that decision, you fold. And so you're asking yourself, why? Why is this happening? Why can I be so certain in work and in other aspects of decision making, but when it comes to this relationship, I just lose myself completely? So today we're going to talk about it because in part, the reason that you're having a hard time trusting yourself is likely because you have experienced emotional abuse. So from this episode today, you are going to receive real examples of what emotional abuse looks like to help you identify it. We're going to talk about gaslighting, and you're going to have a simple understanding of how gaslighting actually trains you to doubt yourself and keeps you in this narcissistic cycle. And you're going to get the first steps that you need in order to start to trust yourself again. Be sure to stick around to the end of the episode where I always pull an oracle card, and these cards offer you a message that you can use and hold on to this week as you stay more conscious in your healing. This is a heavy topic, so I want you to take a deep breath and let's dive in. Okay, so here we go. Today is about uncovering the answer around why can't I trust my decision to leave, or why can't I trust my decision to not go back if you already have left. And to answer this question, we have to address emotional abuse and we have to talk about gaslighting. Emotional abuse is a form of abuse. It is under the umbrella of abuse. And emotional abuse is something that you cannot see physically on your body, unlike physical abuse. Emotional abuse can look a lot of different ways, but one of the ways that it looks in narcissistic relationships is in the form of gaslighting. If you are not familiar with the term gaslighting, I'll give you a brief backstory here of where this term originated and what it means. The term actually originated from a movie in 1944 called Gaslight. And in this movie, it was a man and a woman couple, and the man was slowly turning down the level of light, their gas lights, was literally turning down the gas in the light slowly over time. And as the woman would come to him and say, I think it's getting darker in here. Are you noticing it? Like something's wrong with the lights. He would say, no, it's not getting darker in here. You're crazy. You're losing your mind. Maybe we should go talk to somebody because obviously something is wrong with you. Your perception is wrong. And the term gaslighting comes from that movie because what gaslighting does is it makes you question your reality. Maybe you've heard the term, maybe you've seen it on social media, maybe you have sort of an understanding, but you're like, Brie, what does this look like? I love examples. So I'm going to give you 3 examples of what gaslighting can look like in a relationship. The first example, one way that gaslighting can look is being told that you are too dramatic, too sensitive, or too needy. So let's say that you were out with your partner and you were with a group of friends and your partner mocks you in front of your friends. And you feel the energy shift. You feel people kind of look at you like, was that okay? That was sort of weird what he just said. And so you bring this up to him later and he laughs and he says, Oh my God, you are so sensitive. It was just a joke. In that one statement, he is denying your real feelings and he is dismissing your emotional reality. So he's not getting curious about why your feelings were hurt. He's just telling you that you are too sensitive and you shouldn't be feeling that way. It was just a joke. And when this is done to you over and over again, it starts to implant those little seeds, teaching you to suppress your feelings and to second guess your instincts. Your instinct was telling you that something didn't feel good about that statement, that you had a feeling happen because of that statement. And him denying that and dismissing that tells you that you were wrong. It helps you to shut off that communication because you think that he's right. You think that you were being too sensitive, that you were just over-exaggerating, and you shouldn't have felt that way. The second example that I have for you of what gaslighting can look like is being told that never happened. So let's say that your partner promised that he would come to a family dinner. And so the family dinner is approaching, and when you remind him of that, he comes to you and he says, I never said I would go. You're imagining things. What happens to you in that moment is you question yourself. Did I? Did I make that up? Did he actually say that? You start to doubt your memory. You start to question your intellect instead of holding them in the accountability. Gaslighting in all of these examples, they being the person who is gaslighting, say these things so fucking convincingly that it makes you actually stop and think about it. Like, did he? Did I? Am I making this up? Am I being too crazy? Am I being too sensitive? It is just convincing enough that makes you stop and wonder. In this example, it makes you distrust your own perception of the event. You know that he promised to come to the family dinner, but you start to question yourself anyway. You start to question your perception. The third example of gaslighting is being told it's you. Let's say that you are finally working up the courage to confront your partner about something that feels hurtful, about a pattern that keeps happening, something that he keeps saying that's really, really hurting your feelings. And when you bring it up to him, he responds with, you're the only one who sees it this way. We wouldn't have so many problems if you would just stop bringing problems up. And maybe he even goes as far as saying everyone else thinks that you're overreacting. Maybe this is something that happened in front of other people. So not only does this make you feel unreasonable, but this makes you feel alone and ashamed. And when we feel alone and ashamed, we tend to shrink and be moldable into whatever the other person needs, to go with the pack, to enable, to not speak up, to not speak out because we think we're the problem. The real mindfuck of all of these three examples is that gaslighting happens in a relationship dynamic with somebody that you love. On some level, you have committed yourself to this person. You care about what they think. You care about them loving you. And back to my earlier point, they're saying these things very convincingly. When you have these micro moments of your reality being denied in various ways, it starts to chip away at your confidence. And gaslighting happens repetitively. So each time that your reality is denied, you're told that you are too sensitive, you're told that you're making something up, that you aren't misremembering, you're told that it's you're the problem. It's just chipping away little by little at your confidence, at your self-trust. When it comes to anything that has to do with the relationship period, or definitely a big decision about leaving or staying away from a relationship, you feel weak while you're still operating on some wild level of efficiency in your business or with your kids or in other areas of your life, which adds to the shame. How do I show up at work making all these decisions when really I'm falling apart behind closed doors? That split is soul tiring. You know how you feel so exhausted? It's not just the physical exhaustion from being stressed out and kind of on edge and hypervigilant all the time because you're kind of in survival mode. But I really feel like when you are split that way, your soul is tired. You are exerting so much to just try to show up and figure out what the hell is going on that it's a next level of exhaustion. Okay, so now we know that gaslighting erodes your confidence. It distances you from your intuition. It creates this unmanageable amount of exhaustion. And so when you're coming up against this big decision of leaving a relationship or staying away from the person that you've already left, it can be really hard to find that strength. Because think about it. If you, within the relationship, if you were told that you were misremembering everything, likely you have this belief that's been planted that I'm unintelligent. If you've been told that you were too dramatic, too sensitive, too needy, you likely have the belief that's been implanted that no one's going to want me if I'm this way. Who the hell would want a partner like that? And if you've been told that you cause all the problems, likely there's a belief in there that, again, nobody's going to want that. I'm going to be alone forever. I'm never going to have a healthy relationship. So the beliefs get implanted. And each time you're gaslit, it's like fertilizer gets poured on these beliefs, these little seedlings. The longer that you're gaslit, the more that these seedlings grow into these thorny vines that just wrap around your heart. I don't know if that's the perfect metaphor, but seems like it works. So if you're so wrapped up in those beliefs, how the hell would you trust that you should be able to leave? How would you have the confidence to leave and not go back? It's really, really hard. But all hope is not lost because we can heal from being gaslit. There is a way to untangle that thorny mess, cut down the vines, and reassess your intuition. There is a way to feel confident in your decisions again, to access your heart, to protect yourself, to stop living in that loop of confusion, to stop feeling weak, and most importantly, to release the shame that keeps you isolating, that keeps you looping in this indecision and this panic that you're going crazy. And that is the important work that I am doing with women inside of my Becoming coaching program. Something that I stand by so firmly is that we cannot heal from being gaslit by ourselves. Being gaslit in itself is you having your reality denied. So you need someone else who is in reality to help reflect back your reality to you, to help you untangle the vines, to help you re-access what you know, to validate what you know. Because when you have been invalidated for years, you deserve that level of connection, that level of support to help you come back to yourself. What I get to watch women do every day it feels magical. It feels like such an honor to be able to hold the space and guide women to say, those beliefs are not true. This is the tending work that I need to do around the wounds that these beliefs created. And now I stand in my confidence and I know different. To watch them literally disempower the person who has been gaslighting them, take away all of what that person thinks was power and control because they are operating from such a secure sense of self that they can see the bullshit and they can trust their knowing. They can trust their decision to let that person go. It is magic. It is beyond beautiful to watch these women transform their entire lives. Some of my clients are getting out of cycles that have lasted 10, 15, 20 years with the same partner or different partners, and they are reclaiming their time back. That is what I think, is like the most precious part of doing this work. You're investing money and you're investing your time in this program, but the return that you're getting is so big. Like your time to not be stuck in the cycle, to not be stuck in the gaslighting fog, to feel connected to yourself and trusting of yourself now and for every moment and every year to come, when you have been in a different reality for, let's say, 5 or 10 years, that is invaluable. It is so cool to watch. So if you are resonating with feeling gaslit and not knowing how to untangle these thorny vines and not knowing how to cut down these beliefs that have been consuming you, I want you to go to the show notes and click on the link to schedule your free intro session. We are going to connect on this session. I'm going to understand where you are, what is happening in your specific story, and how I can help you find that clarity and freedom that you're seeking. Because you don't have to do this alone. And please don't do this alone, because you can get to where you want to go so much faster when you have support, and specifically non-judgmental support from somebody who's been there. Girl, I hear you. I see you. I was you. And I am walking proof that you can do it too. To end this episode, let's go ahead and pull an oracle card. See what the message is that wants to come through for you today. As I'm shuffling the deck, I'm just tuning into what is the message that wants to come through for you. And the message is the Destroyer. So I will find the message in the book and let me read to you what the Destroyer has to say. The Destroyer visits to acknowledge an ending. Perhaps it is the ending of a relationship, a job, or a dream. The Destroyer signals to you that it is okay and right to let go, to grieve the loss and look towards new beginnings. Destruction is knowing life's natural cycle, and accepting that death is necessary for growth and renewal. It's time to let go. It's over. Allow the end to come. Sense into the completion. Embrace it. Endings are important as beginnings. Spring always follows winter. Be aware of your inner destroyer, the little voice in your head that sabotages you, the one that would have you believe that you can't fully live, create, dream, or succeed. Although it may have once protected you, it's time to recognize that this type of destruction no longer serves you. Thank it for its work and release it. I just can't make this shit up. I promise you, I do not pre-pull these cards, and it is perfect every time. The time is now for you to end this cycle that you are in, to end the feelings of confusion and craziness and self-doubt and mistrust. It's time. It's time for you. The link is in the show notes. I cannot wait to meet you. And until I see you on that free intro session or I see you in the next episode, please, please, please remember that you are not alone.